I was saying the other time here from this window, I was saying that
Hello,
how do
sorry.
you
I don't know, can you quickly recap since you don't, because some are not on the call now and they may want to rely on the video. Maybe in 2 minutes you can just quickly recap what you've covered and then continue. Sorry about that.
all right, I'll
Yeah.
be doing that now. So for today, we are actually looking at the interface of what Excel is. We said a workbook comprises of several worksheets. So like we have on this screen now, we have other sheets. We have 2016 sheet. We have account manager sheet. All these sheets is what make up to what we call a workbook. But individual sheets is what we call a worksheet. So, to introduce us to, and I earlier mentioned that we have on the file ribbon, that is this file interface, you can easily navigate to that file interface to actually create a blank workbook. And this is a blank workbook. Once you click on it, it will easily create a blank workbook for you. Then you can perform every other task you want to do. Now, in our interface, we have several, we call this a menu bar. This gray area where we have file, home, insert is what we call the menu bar. So, and each menu has on the menu, we have different ribbons. We have the home ribbon, we have the insert ribbon, we have the draw ribbon, down to the this ribbon, where we can perform different tasks. So I'll be walking us through those ribbons. Now, let's assume you want to save a document now. You've already created a workbook. You want to save the workbook. You have different way of saving. You can either save by going to the home ribbon and click on the home ribbon, and you see we have the option for save, just to save. That is, you are saving without creating a file name. Originally, when you save like this, it automatically goes to your save on your document, on your document tab, that's on your system. But if it's always a good practice, because we are incorporating data management into this, that okay, if you're working on a particular, let's say on a particular work now, you want to actually do a data analysis, it's always good to create a folder, in order to manage your data. So, and how do you create a folder? You know how to create a folder. So how do you save directly to the folder you created at? You can save as. So once you save, you click on save as. So you have different ways of saving. You can save in the cloud, and at the same time you can save on your system. It's always a good practice, I'm sure, to always save in the cloud if you have access to the cloud. That is, once you save on the cloud, that is, we have different places. You have the Dropbox, you have OneDrive. OneDrive is being managed by Microsoft. So, and once you save, the advantage is that you can access this document at any point in time, even though you are not making use of that particular system. Only you just need to access your OneDrive. So this is my OneDrive, so which I'm not making use of at the moment. Then you can save. Another option is you can save on your system. And how can you go about that? You click, come to the browse. You click on the browse, then you can navigate to wherever place we want to save on. So at the moment now, I'm saving under document inside a new folder, inside a folder called new folder. So, and then click on, then provide whatever name you want to name your workbook, and click on OK. And it's because it's giving me this prompt because I already have it saved there. So I'm going to cancel. I'm not replacing it. So I'm going back. So now, the next thing I want us to know, that I don't want to go above my what we actually have here. So is that we also have what I'm actually working on now is what we have different versions of Excel. So I'm actually working on my own version of Excel is Microsoft 365, which is the latest. So which auto save your file. That is, once you create that workbook, it from time to time it auto-save. So once you create the name, and the autosave portion button or icon is at the top left corner of the screen, which is there. So I hope you can all see it. So taking us back to my slide. So the best practice is to actually give your workbook a descriptive name that you can actually make reference to. Don't give it a bogus name that, okay, you can't actually relate to. Maybe when you come back to that particular, you are trying to locate that particular file. Maybe after some years, you are trying to look at, what did I save this document? Always give it, you can actually give it a name, then even adding to what the day, the month, and the year or in which you created that particular time. And it's always a good practice to save frequently to avoid what data loss. Like I said, make reference to that. Okay, if you're working with Microsoft Excel 365, which will actually save you that stress. Once you set yourself settings, which I showed us the other time, at the top left corner of your screen, you see that autosave icon that you can actually turn on, that you are actually engaging in that. Okay, time to time, please autosave whatever work I'm working on, so that I don't actually lose this particular document. So now we've talked about we have different, another thing we need to understand, we have different type of data types. So we have what we call a text. So a text can actually, I'm going to link it to the class. I'm sure, I think one or two of us partake in that particular class. So we have different type of data type. We have numeric, we have nominal. So text is an example of what a nominal variable or nominal data type now. So or what we call categories, such as maybe food. So any text. So what I'm sorry. So what I'm trying to say at this moment, okay, let me share this screen. Okay, now this, what we have here under this account manager worksheet, we have different names under this column, account managers. These names are what we refer to as text. So if you come to um what we refer as was text, so if you come to your home ribbon, and you can, if you come to this home ribbon, you will see we have different icon under that home ribbon. We have the clipboard section, we have the font sections, we have the alignment sections, we have the number sections, we have the style section, down to the add-ins. So now we have different form of data types that you can set, you can convert to. We have the general one, we have that's not specific, we have the number, the currency, and the accounting. But at the moment, like I was saying, that we have different form of data types. So I think I've gone past this. Okay, we have numbers, we have text, which I just showed now. So numbers are maybe can be referred to as quantitative. That is the amount, quantities, like maybe hundreds. And then, like we said, we have two type of data: quantitative data and qualitative data. So I'm talking about quantitative data. We are talking about numerical values. So such as we can numerical values, whether we are talking about amount. And under quantitative data, quantitative data can either be discrete or continuous. And I'm sure, like it has been mentioned, when we're talking about discrete now, we are referring to what numbers of persons we have in attendance in this class. That is discrete. We can have maybe 4.5 persons in this class. So, or when we are talking about numbers of persons in a class, or numbers of persons present in an assembly, or the numbers of children, that is, we are talking about family size. These are what examples of the discrete. That is, it doesn't, you can't have decimal place. So, but continuous data now are what we refer to as, okay, maybe a good example of continuous data is height, weight, huh, length. So all these things are what. So you must be able to understand your data type, because these are the basics that will guide you when it comes to data cleaning. When we talk about data analysis, it's in stages, it's in steps. So you don't just analyze your data, you must clean your data. So, or what we call in data sciences is a terminology called data wrangling. So you must understand data type to properly clean your data. So, and another thing, we have text, we have numbers, we have dates. Another important key element we need to know under data type is what date. So, and date has structure, format that it follows. Like what we have on this, we have Nigeria, UK, that is English, makes use of the same format. That is, we have what a structure format of what days, months, and year. Some countries have their own format in this way, in the reverse order: year, month, and day. Some, like example in US, have their own structures as what um month, day, and year. So you must actually stick to a structure format. And most at times, the way your Excel, the way your system is being designed, is actually going to structure. Maybe your system is being configured to maybe you are using your English is in US or your English is in UK. If your English of your system is in UK, that is actually going to follow a structural format of the way which aligns with Nigeria format of what presenting data, or presenting data rather. So that is, we have what day, month, and year. So, and it's always a good practice. So once you can know this feature, you can easily clean your data. So another data type we talked about is what is logical. When we talk about logical, we are talking about true or false. Is it true or is it false? So that is two conditions coming together to form a logic. If truth plus plus true, we actually go with us true. So we have different logic. We've talked about that. So in entering data now, so you can either enter data by what typing directly, or you paste from a source. That is, I'm going to share this screen now. So I'm coming in now. So you can easily enter data. Let's say you want to enter, let me make use of this sheet. You can manually enter data, and by saying you are creating on this first row, let me say names, and then let's say dates. I'm creating different columns. You can see. So how do we, okay, good. Another thing I need to mention before we can proceed in this is that a worksheet is comprises of what? A row and column. What do we mean by row? That is, and row represents observations or a record. So I will explain. So row represents a record, while column represent what? Variable, entity, or some people call it as feeds. We have different feeds. We have now on this column, we have what? A name feed. We have what? A date feed. Let's say we having another one as what variable can I create? Okay, let me say activity. Let me just say activity type. Activity type is actually another word feed. So now each row represents what? A record and or observation. So in the sense that for myself now, if I'm going to provide this now, I said my name is what? Emmanuel Ayodele. You can manually type Emmanuel Ayodele. Then, so then today's date, I can type out today's date is what? 17. Or you can either use either dash slash or hyphen. That's 10. Sorry, 10 2025. So activity types, let me say I'm undergoing a training at the moment. So this forms what? The record for what? Emmanuel daily. So, and that's how we can actually manually enter data in this way. So, and now we said a worksheet comprises what? A row or a column. And then each cell, what we call this particular place I am now, is what we call cell. So this is cell what? If you look over here towards your top left corner, that is under your formula bar, behind your formula bar here, this is what we call the formula bar. Here is what we call the formula bar. So, and beside it, we have what we make reference to as what F4. Why is it making reference to F4? It's trying to tell us about what the location of the cell. That is, we are actually on what column what F. You can see, like I said last time, all these alphabetical numbers are what we call columns. We refer to them as what columns A, B, C. These are columns, and you can see then all these 1, 2, 3 that we have at the left side of the screen are what we call what rows. This 1, 2, 3 are what we call rows. So now if we want to reference this particular place where my cursor is at the moment, you can see it's talking about E3. It's talking about what? That is, we are presently at column what? E, row what? 3. So I can easily call on anybody. Okay, what information do you have on row G5? You can easily tell me, okay, this where this info you can easily produce the information we have on row G5. Or here now, who can tell me what information do we have on P3? You can just unmute what information do we have on P3? On cell P3. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Did you say
All right,
P3 or
please.
Q3?
P3.
It's for them.
P
P3, right?
Yes.
2.8 for the
Okay. Anybody with contrary response
I
as
think P3
regards?
is $5.68, right?
Good.
Or
This P3.
24, right?
Yeah, this is P3. So we have what $2.84. That's what
2.84,
we
yeah.
currently have. So that is it's structured in such a way that we can make reference to it. That's what we are in cell what P3. So and we have different and this all is all these cells that make up what a data set. That is all this information we have in this what cells is what make up what a data set. I hope that is clear. So if at any point you are missing me, you can just drop a message in the chat box. I'm someone is there looking out, and my attention is actually going to be drawn to it probably at the end of the course. Like I said, today is just going to be an introductory class. So going back to her slide now. So and the tips is this: you use header for columns, like I explained. And in your data set, always try to avoid blank rows and columns in data set. And this is the building blocks to what we call data cleaning. That is, you make sure that there are no irrelevant what rows or columns empty or blank in your data set. Then enter consistent format. Like I mentioned the other time, I've talked about this, that if your date format is month, day, and year, please stick to that. One of the major issues with data cleaning or data as regards to date majorly, which is an important key variables in your data set, is date format. So if you are following the order of month, day, and year, stick to it. Don't on that same column, don't have another structure of what day, month, and year. At least over time where I've worked, this falls in the category of major problems we actually encounter day to day. So you follow a structural format, a unique format, and I'll be showing us this an example here now. Good. If you look at this on my screen now, we can see this ship date. So I'll be expanding for us to see it clearly. You can see that it follows what a structural format of what day, month, and year is consistent all through. So one of the data challenge we have that, okay, before you go to analysis, you have to check properly that, okay, are my data is in a good condition for me to run this analysis? That is, and that's what we call data wrangling or data cleaning. So looking at that, then I think I've taken much of our time. We're almost, so I'll move to the next slide. So then we talked about that too. Then formatting. So we have different formatting cells. If I'm talking about cells, I believe that every one of us understand what we mean by cells now. So now formatting option now, the home tab. On the home tab now, like I mentioned the other time, I'm coming back here. Like I mentioned the other time, these are tabs on our ribbon. We have the home tab. This is the home tab. We have the insert tab. We have the draw tab. I've mentioned this. So if I'm talking about the home tab, on the home tab now, so you can either format this particular your data. This is the raw data that I'm actually going to make use of for the week 1, possibly week 2. So this data set you can actually format, and I'll walk us through different formats, but I want to take everything. So you can actually change on the water. You can do the font size. You can make the bold or the alignment center. So I'm actually going to practicalize this. So please, I hope your network is good because I'm changing screen from one place to another. So like you can make this, you can see that the first row is what represents my variable names. Variable names, like on this variable is what we call product category. On this variable, which is another column, which we call product container, we have ship mode, ship date, cost price, retail price, other quantities, subtotal, discount, and these are what my row 1. If I'm talking about row 1, I'm highlighting them now. So, and how do I highlight the row 1? You just simply come to the edge of your screen, towards the left corner of your screen. You can see once it make a deep arrow, if you click on it, it will simply highlight the whole row for you. If I want to unselect it, you can see now. You can see the arrow now. It has changed to a deep cursor pointing towards the right. Once you click on it, it will highlight the whole row for you to see what you are actually working on at the moment. So, like now, if I simply come to the home tab, you can see if you under the home tab and you checking the font section. On the font section, we have the font name. This is the font name, the font number, that is the font size. Then if you want to increase the font size, if you increase, you can see now, if you're clicking on this capital letter A, that is the big one now, where I am at the moment, we actually increase the font size. And you can actually perform the same operation by increasing the font size there. I want to adjust it to 12. You can see it's bigger now. If I seems to be this is bigger. Then if you want to reduce it, you can simply select and just click on 10. Or another way of going about that is just click on this. It will reduce this to increase the font size. This one is to reduce, or you manually select your font size that you think you can work with. Now, another thing I want us to know that is this same within that font tab. We have if you want to bolden your text, you can click on bold. The whole of row 1 is being highlighted. It will, if I click on it now, it's bold. It will you can see the font has changed. The whole row highlighted has changed, or the font has already changed. Now, if you want to bolden them, bolden those row again, you can click on that. So, or that is, you are applying a specific rule to a certain set of selected rows or observations. Now, if I want to place them as it, I want to italics them. This is how to italics. You can see it has changed the font format. So, or probably you want to underline, you can see it as underline everything. If you click on it again to change it, to remove this, you can see it has structure it. Click on this, it has moved. Or you want to actually create a set of borders around it. You can actually do your top border, or you want to create a border, maybe top and right, or your data set. If you click on this, you can see a border around. Now, another thing I want to show us before we go on, if you want to select the whole worksheet, you can simply come to this particular side of the screen. I hope you can see the cross arrow where it is. Once you click on this, it will automatically select all your data sets. Automatically select. Another way to do that is to simply come within your data set and click on what? Control A. It will highlight what? Your data set for you. So, if you click it on select. So please, if I'm moving too fast or you don't seem to understand the step I've just explained, if you think you can quickly interrupt me by actually calling my attention to whatever I've explained that you don't understand. Like I said, this is going to be purely practical. So the other time I applied a particular rule to this rule 1. So like if I'm talking about rule 1, I'm talking about this observation that I like. Row 2, you can see. Row 3, to highlight column column L, you can see. If you click on the top, it will simply highlight the O. If you click on the letter L, it will simply. One thing is, it's always a good practice that, please, my advice to everyone is that once we are done with this class, don't wait for the next class for you to practice. Or maybe you say you compile everything to that. It's always good that after each class, the material, the slide will be available to you. Try to practicalize whatever we've done so that at least you can stick. Don't always have this assumption in your head that okay, I understand these things. It happens to most persons during maybe whether undergraduate, primary school, whatever phase in our life, and said, oh, I understand these things. You don't actually understand something without actually practicalizing it or without actually putting pen to paper. And our pen to paper is actually using your system to actually practicalize all these things. So you can select different columns by clicking on the letters, and you can select rows by clicking on the numbers. All the rows by clicking on numbers. So now these are going back to our home tab. This is our home tab. Within the font region, we have different functions. We can actually, on this text now, if you want actually highlight or maybe you want to code it as color, you want to make the font to be what, the body of the text to be what, to fill the color. That is, you want to fill this color, that maybe there's something you are actually, okay, I want to call my attention to this later. You can just give it, or you select different color. You don't want yellow, you have different color that you can select here. You can just maybe blue, you change to this. Then if you just maybe and then if you want to remove it, click on no free to remove it. And one good thing is this: it is always good for you to play around the worksheet. What does that mean by playing around the worksheet now? That is, clicking around those cells. It will bring out so many information for you. Okay, wow, this is how this one is being done. You can see, this is how I'm playing around. Okay, this format, I don't want this one. I want more color. You can click on more. You can select more colors and custom colors, and select different ways of playing around the data. So, or you can right click to see what you can do. If you right click on any cell, that is, if you right click on any cell, you see it will show you several things that you can do. So in order for me to stay up to date with what I'm trying to project, I'm going back to my slide, because now talking about borders, I've explained borders. This is border now. Let me walk us through that. So the border, if you come to the home ribbon, this is what we call borders. Like we have here now, the row 1 now, I've actually applied a border function to it, such that One thing is this. Another thing I want to show us now. Yeah, I'm not sure if you are paying attention. There's something that just happened now. Okay, look at when I if you want to make your home ribbon to appear, you can simply double click on the home ribbon. You don't want it, you just want it to stay. Double click it to stay. If you double click again, it will make it disappear. Double click to make it appear that you can work with at any point in time. But you don't you want to give more room for your data, you can double click. Okay, like I don't need to, I know what if I want to, and this is applicable now to maybe you already know whatever ribbon that you need to work on. So but if you don't know whatever ribbon, you can always double click to show you when you move to each of those ribbon, it will give you the properties of those ribbon and all those tools that are applicable in those ribbon. Like in the home insert ribbon now, we can see all these tools that are up. In the insert ribbon is majorly for visualization. So draw ribbon, we want to draw maybe an heart on it, a page layout, we want to create a page layout, we want to, we talk about that. The formula tab, we have the data tab. Data tab is very important. We are going to make use of this data tab very well because it's where we are going to perform analysis or simply having a feel about our data. This is an important part to look at, or you review or your view, your home tab. This view tab is very important. So you can actually have this view tab if you want to create different views. Okay, maybe you have different windows that you open. You can come to, maybe you want to switch from, you can see if I want to switch from another workbook, I have two workbook open now. I have this one and this one. If I quickly want to switch to the other one, I click on this, it will switch to the other this, it will switch, it has already switched to this workbook now because I click on it. If I come to this view again and I want to switch my window, I can switch between the windows that I've opened down on my Excel. If I open several windows, I can switch from this switch window button. Okay, I'm actually working on take charge. I click on it, it will take me to take charge. I'm projecting now for it to show. So this is basically what it takes to, you can work around the data. So I'm going back to my slide so that I won't over explain and then miss out on the important details. So then adjusting the layout, you can resize your column or row. You have several ways of doing that. Maybe you are not seeing, I purposely made my screen to look this way. You can see that if you look at this thing, you can see that under this product column, product category column, I can't see the information here clearly. You can actually manually adjust your column by dragging, okay? By dragging to make it open, can drag. Or another way of doing that, if you have it this way, you can just, if you can see once your cursor or your arrow change to this dark cross like this in between two columns, that is columns K and here now, where it is at. If you just simply double click, it will resize itself to what? To the length of your what? Information of your text. Look at, I'm going to do the same thing on this column L. Double click. It has adjusted itself. Ship mode, double click, that's adjust itself. You can see the screen is now making, look at, let's come to this column R now. Subtotal, you can see some numbers are not showing. Why? It's not an error, it's because your numbers as what is, you shrink your number due to the width of the cells. If you double click now, everything will open, all the numbers will open. Double click. So another way of doing that, you don't want to manually, if you have several columns that you have within your worksheet, if you have several variables or several columns, are you going to manually do that one after the other? No. So the best thing to do is to come to this, to highlight your the whole data set. And how do you highlight the whole data set or the whole variables? You come to this top corner. Once you see that your arrow, your cursor has changed to this cross arrow, click on this particular place that highlight your data. Then you can just double click one of these cells. It will automatically adjust your data for you. that, okay, to fit your data to the column, to the text, or to the particular content of this word cell. You can see everything has adjusted on itself by simply what? Going to the this left corner of the cell. Once your arrow just select your data set, just come to one of the column that is one of the column that is between L and M, or whether N or N. Simply what? Double click and everything what auto align, and that's how to adjust. So going back now, another thing I want to show us what is how to wrap a text for long entries. For example, let's say that I'm going back. Let me practicalize this. So let's say I have let me come to the sheet tab. Now I just want to maintain text wrap. Now this on that home ribbon. If you click on this, you can see what is to wrap the text. What has it done? Is to wrap the text in such a way that the text will auto fit within that particular cell, so that the cell content that is not showing at that particular time comes down. That's how to wrap a text. If you have a long thing, instead of maybe coming here, you can wrap a text this way. But the thing is this: it will increase the width of your cell content based on the length of the content within that cell. I hope you all get that. So I'm moving from that. So another thing I want to show us what the best practice is to always format for readability and consistency. Be consistent with your format, and then to adjust your format for readability or for your unique view. So good. So that's just a basic view of interface of what Excel. So I'll quickly, because we're already running out of time, quickly introduce us to what our interface for Power BI. So Power BI is a tool for interactive data visualization and business intelligence. That is, we actually make use of Power BI for interactive visualization. No, they said image or picture speaks louder than figures. So you want to actually create a visual representation of what your data is saying, or you can make use of Power BI. You can actually make use of Excel at the same time too. So most of the components of the Power BI desktop, I hope we all have access to Power BI. So or on our system, you can, if you don't, you can simply go to on your Windows screen. We have what we call Microsoft Store. On this Microsoft Store, you can download, you can access Power BI from here. You can access Power BI from here. You just simply search for Power BI within this Microsoft Store and download on your system. It's free. You can have access to the free version. So now we have what we call the Power BI desktop. The Power BI desktop is what you install on your system, and we have the Power BI that is free tool for creating what report, and we have the Power BI service. That is, the Power BI service is a cloud platform for sharing your visualization. So we're going to actually talk about this in week 6. That is, for example, you've created your visualization and you want to share with another person. Probably you want to share with your superior, you want to share with a colleague somewhere. You can simply upload it, publish it to the Power BI cloud platform, such that you can send the link of the visualization you have created to the recipients, whether whatever the person is to you now. So the person can actually see the visualization you've created and interact with it, such that the person can interact by clicking, adjusting for weeks, maybe months or days, like that. So we have actually, let me try to open Power BI interface. I have Power BI here in my system. Sorry, let me stop sharing. Let me share my entire screen so you can see whatever I'm doing. So I'm clicking on Power BI desktop on my system. So it's launching. All right. And this is the what Power BI interface. So the first thing you can do here is to click on black report. It will bring you what to the interface of what Power BI. So how many of us have Power BI installed on our system? Please kindly indicate if you can by raising up your hand using the two. If you have Power BI on your system, so okay, 1, 2, okay, good. How many persons? Just 2 persons? Okay, or let's put it this way. Please, if you don't have Power BI on your system, kindly indicate by a raise of hand. If you don't have Power BI on your system, we have the majority. Oh, okay. I think what we'll do is this. So I'll walk us through how to install Power BI. I hope everyone is working on Windows 11. You have Windows 11, then you can simply download. If you can download from your Microsoft Store, this is Microsoft Store. So you can simply go there. Once it completely load, you can search loading. Okay. You can search different apps here. You can search different apps. You can search Power BI. You can see Power BI. Power BI is there. This is how to install. Then you can see it's open. This is Power BI desktop. Okay. I have it installed. That's why it's click on open. Here, what the acronym that you will have here, if you don't have it installed in your system, you click on get. So once you click on get, you download, you allow it to download, then to install, you finish install, then you have Power BI on your phone. By tomorrow, I hope everybody will have Power BI installed on their system. So, and that's that. Now, I just want to walk us around the environment of Power BI. So, I said we have the report view, that is where you build your visual. We have the data view, we have the model view for managing relationship. This is what I'm making reference to. We can see now, the other time I'll make it open, to create 2 different screens, like this screen and then the Power BI desktop. Once it brings the first interface, click on blank report to take you to this interface. So now, let me drag this guy here. So allow me perform whatever. So this is what we call your visual, your ribbon. The other time we are making reference to that, we'll call where you build your visual. So this is where you build your visuals. You build your visual here. We have different visual that we can make use of here. We have the stack bar chart. We have the stack column chart. We have the stack the cluster bar chart. We have the line chart. We have the gauge. We have the donut chart. We have the pie chart. This is what we call gauge. We have different cards. We have different KPIs. We have this the composition tree. We have filter different text slides. We have different Q&A. We have a list slicer. So list slicer makes our visualization interactive. Then we have what other things now? We have several visuals here. So where our data comes to is this is where we have your data. If we've loaded our data here, so how can we? So I hope I'm still audible. Please, please, someone should confirm if you can still hear me. Sorry, you can drop our hand now. Can just drop our hands. If you can.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. All right, thank you so much. Sir. So great. So now on this get data, we have like just like we mentioned in Excel that we have ribbons. We have on our menu. This our menu bar. File, home, insert, modeling, view, optimize, app. These are our menu bar. So on our menu bar, we have different ribbons. We have the file ribbon, we have the home ribbon, we have the insert ribbon, we have the modeling ribbon, like that. And one thing I want to tell us, we can see that in Excel, the similarities is this. We have what the file ribbon, we have the home ribbon, the insert ribbon. Another thing, under your file ribbon, you can adjust, you can make your screen to whatever mode you want. Click on what's it called? More options here. Click on options. So you can change the appearance of your screen or of your ribbons. If there are some ribbons that is not inclusive in your ribbon, you can add ribbons here from the headings. And another thing, I can change the themes of my ribbon. You see some persons making use of you see their screen is black ribbon. Mine is green and white. If I want to change it, now it's colorful. You just come to the what file, option, file, option, more, then come to the interactive under the general. You come to what office themes. Under the office themes, you can either select if you want the black interface. I can just click on it. You can see my screen has changed black. If I want another thing, I want to change it to another thing. I don't want this black. You can come to, like I said, file, come to more, options, come to under general, scroll down to office theme and change it to what? If you want it as dark gray, click OK. That's changed to dark gray. Another one, file, more, options, then office theme. You want to change it to white. Click. You can see everything has changed to white. If you want to, you can just explore. So I'm taking it back to what I have before. Can explore. So office theme, I'm changing it to colorful. I want it as colorful, back to what we have before. So I'm just trying to show us the similarities between what Power BI and Excel. They almost have the same what ribbon, the same interface, but observe majorly you in Power BI you can't edit your data. You can actually clean your data in Power BI, but you can't manually enter data in Power BI. So like I said, under the menu we have different ribbon. The file ribbon, you can see the file ribbon. If you come to options, you here. So it's actually loading. So it's almost the same like Excel. So you can actually walk around, check different Power Query editor, check different R scripts, Power scripts, whatever. You can just walk around it and explore. Then coming to your home ribbon now. On your home ribbon, you can see what you can do. You can on your own ribbon, you can actually import your data. Under get data, you can select your data from your Excel workbook. That's why we said Excel workbook works in hand with what with Power BI. You can select what Excel workbook. You can make use of Power BI semantic model, data flow, SQL. You can use SQL Server too. You can import your data from SQL, whatever which platform. If you are working with if your data set is in Kobo Collect, you can link your Kobo Collect. You can access your data on here. You can then by simply going to option more, you can see different file formats you can import. You can import from SharePoint, you can import from SQL, you can import from Access Data, you can import from text and CSV. And also, I think one thing I did not remember to mention the other times that you can, while saving your workbook in Excel, you can save in different formats, so that when once you come to save as and come to your system where you want to save at, we have different formats of saving. You can save your workbook as either Excel extension is .xlx, and we have CSV format too. You can see that we have different formats you can save in. We have CSV, we have Excel workbook, we have what XML, we have what these are different formats. You can see we can even save in PDF. You have PDF, you can see PDF here. You can save whatever your data in PDF. You can save in different formats that you think is applicable to you. So CSV is comma separated value. So majorly Power BI works well with CSV because CSV will reduce the size of your data. Then your Power BI loads easily. So, and you can also save in .xls, that is .xlxl. That's what the extension for what for one of the Power BI, and that's what this one this place is talking about. If you remember the other time, let me show us this screen. Good. You can see this is an example of a name file. You can see the extension. The extension is what? Yeah, XLXL. This Excel format. If you see it, another one .csv is comma separated value. So that each of your cell, each of your variable is separated by what? A comma. So, and that is that. So I'm coming back to where I'm Power BI now. That is, you can access your data. You can see, you can if your data is in CSV, you can come here, load it from CSV. If your data is in Excel workbook, you can come here. Tomorrow I will walk us through that. You can come here, select the Excel workbook. So you can select different workbooks. Once you select your workbook, it will process it and then load it to what? Your data ribbon. This is your data ribbon here. If I close this place, you can see it can expand. You can increase your ribbon. You can expand. You can close it at the same time. Visualization ribbon. You can see these are visualization ribbon. I want to close it. I close it. Your filter ribbon. You want to filter based on certain conditions. You can filter it. Then we have the what on insert ribbon. Whether you want to create a new ribbons, we have the model ribbon. We have this. Now, once you load your data to Power BI, you can actually, this is a table that actually works like, let me load one example of a data set. Let me workbook now. Let me load down, coming. Let's say I'm loading this. Good. This is how to load. You select, you click on what? Get data. Click on the, I'll still walk us through that tomorrow. So you can see now, Excel and Power BI is examining your workbook that you are trying to locate. Like we said the other time, that we have different worksheets within a workbook. Now, what Power BI has done, that he has seen the name of your workbook, take charge. Then within your workbook, he's seeing what different worksheet. You see, is it you're not asking, do you want to work with account manager worksheet or other worksheet? You can click on this. So it will preview your data or other worksheet, or you want to select the two. We want to import the two. Once you select the two, if you want to select maybe just the customer and other worksheet, and if you want to select the sales what you want to import what the sale data too. The two has been actually selected. Now let me just say I want to work with the other worksheet. So it is previewing. This is the preview panel. So you can actually, before you work with any data, it is always a good practice for you to what? Transform your data. Once you click on transform, it will take you to what we call Power Query. I'm just walking us through the interface. This is just to walk through data. You can load the data directly, but that means that you have not actually cleaned the data before you perform visualization. It's always good practice. If you click on transform data, to this, it will take you to what? Power Query Editor. You can see that's taking me to Power Query Editor. And within the Power Query Editor, let's say I'm done. I won't take us through this today. I'm done cleaning my data, because within the Power Query Editor is where you clean your data. That is, you want to make your data ready for analysis. Like I said the other time, you don't jump to data by analyzing the data. You have different jargons in your data. So one of the best practice is to always clean your data. Once your data is clean, once you've cleaned your data, you can click and say close and apply. Close and apply will take your data that you already cleaned data back towards the Power BI interface. That is, you can see it's loading the schema. And one good thing about Power BI too is that it makes your data, that is, once you add your data from the backend, the only thing you just need to refresh it or to update. Good. Now, the essence why I am actually bringing us to this ribbon is the report view. That is the report. These are your report view. The report view is where you create your visualization. You create your visualization by selecting. You can see now, since I've loaded my data, the only worksheet I loaded was what? The order sheet. You can see if you click on it now, it will bring all the columns I have on my order sheet. You'll be able to view all your columns here on your data within what order sheet. If you close it, then to make any visual, you can click within this visualization icon, select any icon. You can select any icon, build visual. You can see you can select any icon, build visual. Then maybe you want to just show something. So this, I'm just taking us through that. This is where you build your visual. So I'm actually taking this by deleting. Delete. Okay, good. Now this is what we call your table view. Your table view is something that looks like Excel view too. You can see that this looks very similar to your Excel view. You can see this look very similar to your Excel worksheet. You can see almost like the same interface. The other sheet, you can see what I'm showing here is almost the same. Is the same thing as what we are seeing here. So this we have what on our Power BI, we have what the report view, we have the table view, and we have what model view. This is where you build models, that is a relationship between your data. Whether there's a particular key, we have primary key, we have secondary key. We'll talk about that. So, and you want to link one data to another, you can come to what the model view, which will, if you click on the model view now, you see this is where you build your relationship that exists between two different data sets. So, and that's about that. Let me go to, I'll be rounding up now because I've explained most of the things I actually want to talk about. I want to cover for today. Good. Okay. Good. So, and actually, I'll be okay. So in order to make it conserve our time, I know most of us are, so we'll continue from tomorrow. So I've actually walked us through the interface of both what, introduce us to what, both Excel and Power BI. So, but before we do that, I don't know, do you have any question and answer? And this, this is a question and answer section. So if you have any questions to ask based on what we've covered today, please you can quickly ask. And then if you need to contact me, this is my email address. Then I'll be making available to us at the end of this class the Power BI and Excel presentation that I make today. Then I'll be providing us with the sample data and then some cheat sheets and some ninjas, some tips, some resources that we can actually make reference to and to actually for refreshing our memory based on what we've taught today. So some resources I'll be adding to it. But now, do you have any questions? Any question before we call it today? If you have any question, you can just indicate by raise of hand.
Yeah, well, good evening. Well done. Thank you very much. I wanted to add just, you said to link one data to another, we should go to something. I lost the track that time.
All right, good. So I was talking about,
yeah.
Yes, I was actually showing us the interface of Power BI, that if you have a key, like you load several here, you load several data here from a worksheet. You have on your workbook now, we have different sheets. So, and then if there's a relationship between sheet A, that is your other sheet, or your sales sheet, like we have here now. This is the other sheet, this is sales sheet. If there's a relationship between the data, so you can actually link one data to the other using that key. What I'm talking about key now, maybe a column, or let me just simply put now, maybe a specific like an example now that I want to make use of it. Yeah, serial number representing, or what we call how much you help me now? An ID, yeah, a unique ID that links the order, yeah, ID, a unique ID that links your order sheet to your sales sheet. So that is, this ID is present within your order sheet, and at the same time is present within your what? Sales sheet. So you can use the what? ID to link both the order data and the sales data. And how you do that in Power BI is what I was explaining the other time, that you come to the model view. In model view, once you have your two of the data, you can link, you can say, okay, the relationship that between these two data is maybe unique ID. Okay, and this unique ID is here. You can link it to the other data here. So subsequently in our meetings, we'll talk about that. So I'm just trying to explain that, okay, this model view is for create relationship between one sheet and the other and another. I hope I'm able to answer this question.
Yes, very well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other question? I'll be storage. Any other question before is it that we all understood what we've covered today, or
Well done,
I don't want to...
Dr. Ayo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It's a good one, actually. Will it be possible to maybe summarize some of these things tomorrow?
Yes, I'll walk us through some of those things tomorrow.
Okay, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, because I have some questions actually, but I don't want to overstretch it further. I'll add them tomorrow.
All right, maybe what we'll do tomorrow is this: we give first, before we start, we'll give room for question and answer before we continue. So
Okay,
you can prepare.
that'll be fine.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
thank you everyone for joining the call. Please do have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.